All right, Duramax 6.6 surge.
So now let's take a look and figure out why our mass airflow sensor has failed.
Hi friends, today we're looking at the training truck and let's listen. Oh. Okay. Obviously able to inject. Alright, Duramax 6.6 surge. Air seems to surge when we force lots of throttle at it. Wants to hunt and surge until eventually it levels off. So let's take a look at the codes. Let's take a look at what's going on with QB, shall we? Let's go to our DTCs. Alright, so when we're running, as soon as it's running, glow plug should not be causing our issue. Glow plug will give us hard start. We're in the spring now. Finally got rid of the snow. So biggest problem we're probably dealing with is our mass airflow sensor. So this engine will not run at base idle, but if we go over to our mass airflow sensor right here and we disconnect it, what that should do is that should remove the sensor from the controller, and at that point we are going to go to base fuel mapping and it should fire up and idle. There we go. So it's that simple. Simply disconnect the sensor and now you're going to be able to idle. Now you won't be able to rev up. Let's see what that looks like. We'll hit the throttle on this side here. Alright, she revs pretty good without coughing and farting. But not quite perfect. You can hear sort of stumble on the top end. So under load, it's still going to have some challenges. So now let's take a look and figure out why our mass airflow sensor has failed. Alright, so for our code, we can do some quick Googling. We can find the 5-pin pinout for our mass airflow sensor. Pin 3 is supposed to have ignition power going through it. So what we're going to do is disconnect our mass airflow sensor just like that. We can do it pin 3. We should be able to take our skinny leads, make sure that we're not creating any point spread. We should be able to put it in there. And we should be able to reference back to battery ground. Conveniently, our battery is quite close by. And we're supposed to have full ignition power. So ignition power should be 12.6 with a good battery, 13.5 to 14.5 with alternator voltage. And so since the truck is running, we only got 6 volts, 6.5. We have a 6 volt drop in our supply wire. So to get rid of this problem, we're going to need to find where our corrosion is in the harness that's mounted in here to find our voltage drop. Once we do that, we will go back to having full voltage to our mass airflow sensor, and the sensor will work properly. There's no sense replacing the sensor at this point. We already know there's incorrect voltage going to the sensor, and so the work is harder than just swapping out a sensor. But if you're getting somebody saying the sensor and the harness, that is less likely. It's more likely that it's just the voltage problem, and we'll deal with that. Okay, so one of the things we can do, definitely do this when you understand the risks of what you're taking on. But if we understand we're supposed to be getting ignition power to pin 3, what we're going to do is we're going to actually hook up pin 3 using our back probing test leads, and we're going to create essentially a jumpered 12 volt voltage reference for this sensor. Alright, so now what we've done is we've taken this ignition power and we made sure we actually have power going to the sensor. And now it's running, the engine's running fine, life is carrying on, but now let's disconnect it. We can hear our problem coming back. Let's see if we can put it back in time. Yep. So as soon as we put 12 volts to that power to our map sensor, it works fine. Take away, and now we stall. All right, so in this case, we were able to confirm that we did not have power going to the mass airflow. It is ignition power. We were able to give it outside power. Mass airflow sensor works properly, reports, engine responds and idles properly. So now we need to, for sure, find where our 6 volt drop is going to pin number 3 from our ignition wire. All right, so when we look up our wiring diagram, we can see that our pin 3 that's getting low voltage, 6 volts, is supposed to come on pink all the way back to our connection after fuse 23. So it looks like we're supposed to come out of our battery power distribution, fuse 23 under our fuse cover, and we got a break off going to another portion power distribution, but then we should be coming right to pin number 3 on our pink wire. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at pin fuse 23. So to get to our fuse door cover right here, we can see that 23 is way up here, 3rd row, 3rd fuse. And we had to pull the master cylinder off on this, beautiful truck just to gain access to our fuse box. So now what we want to do is go to fuse 3, and we want to check to see what our voltage is available at our fuse to see if our problem is upstream of the fuse or whether it's downstream of the fuse. So we're just doing really step number 1 of our diagnostic, which is check the source. So if we know our source is supposed to be fuse 23 or it's supposed to come from here, then what we can do is check that. All right, so let's go back to ground and let's see what we have at fuse 3 available to us. We got 1 volt on the downside. We got 7 volts on the upside. So that means we got 7 volts going to our fuse when our key is on, and we are supposed to be having full ignition power when the key is on. So now we have to go back and find where our ignition power has dropped its voltage. So we have a high resistance ahead of our fuse block. And now we're just going to take our multimeter. We're grounded out on the other side, back to battery ground. We're going to come up and we're going to check this red black, and we got 12.2. So I'm just going to read the meter because I'm running out of hands. We go up to orange, we get 12.2. Go to white, we get 12.2. We sneak into this pink one that's right back there, and we get 7.09. That was a thunderous rumble right on time. All right, so at the ignition switch, we had power going into the switch properly at 12.2. What comes out on the pink for our run circuit is only 7 volts. And so we got to pull this connector and either clean it to see if that's where our corrosion is, or we need to replace our ignition switch because it's corroded inside the ignition switch. There we go. Now it's acting as if our ignition switch just got pulled. So I'm going to take a look at what's going on inside of there. What we can see is all those connections are nice and clean. There's no problem there. All right, so now we just want to check the resistance value for the contacts inside the ignition switch before we throw it out. So got our multimeter, put it on ohms. We're going to read our leads, make sure we're good. So 0.1 or 0, that's very good. So now we're going to go between the contact pin number 2 and contact pin number 1, which are hard to get a hold of. 33.2, 33 ohms is what we read on. So the 33 ohms we read on here is what's causing our 5 volt voltage drop, and so we need to replace our ignition switch.